Picture this. You're standing on the edge of a financial revolution, one that doesn't require you to be wealthy or even to own an entire Bitcoin. If I told you that just 0.1 Bitcoin, 1/10 of a coin, could be the key to transforming your financial future, would you believe me? At first glance, 0.1 of something may not seem significant. It's easy to overlook the potential in something that feels small. But in the extraordinary realm of Bitcoin, that tiny fraction could position you not just as a spectator in the story of financial history, but as an active participant. Let's take a moment to reflect. Bitcoin has outshined every major asset over the last decade. Stocks, gold, real estate, you name it. Born in 2009 as a digital curiosity worth mere cents, today, a single Bitcoin commands over $125,000. And here's the kicker. You don't need an entire Bitcoin to reap the rewards of this monumental shift. 0.1 BTC. Just a little piece of something massive could hold incredible promise for you. In this episode of BrainFuel Reads What If series, we'll dive deep into the significance of this small investment. You'll discover why it's not too late to join the movement, how even a minimal stake can reshape your understanding of wealth, and what it truly means to own a slice of the world's most groundbreaking digital asset. So stay with us until the end. Trust me, once you see the bigger picture, this small investment will never look the same again. Let's embark on this journey by understanding the cornerstone of Bitcoin: scarcity. There will be exactly 21 million Bitcoins, a fact encoded in its very existence. This isn't a hopeful forecast or a politician's promise. It's an immutable rule of the blockchain. Now, on the surface, 21 million might seem like a generous number. But consider this. Over 8 billion people inhabit our planet. If we were to share Bitcoin evenly among everyone, each person would only get about 0.0026 BTC, barely enough to make a dent in anyone's financial aspirations. This means that anyone holding even 0.1 BTC, just a slice of a coin, owns more than what 97% of the world could ever dream of if Bitcoin were to achieve widespread acceptance. Pause for a moment and absorb that thought. In a universe defined by scarcity, whether it's land, oil, or gold, Bitcoin is pioneering this concept in the digital landscape. It's the first currency immune to inflation, tampering, or manipulation. When governments produce more dollars, your hard-earned savings lose value. But Bitcoin's ingenious code limits its supply, triggering what's been referred to as the Bitcoin halving every 4 years. Each halving tightens the supply, often leading to explosive price surges. So, when you possess 0.1 Bitcoin, you're not just holding a minuscule figure. You're grasping a piece of the most coveted digital asset ever created. This isn't about chasing quick profits. It's about embracing a finite part of the future of money itself. Now, let's translate this concept into hard numbers. Bitcoin's meteoric rise from $0.03s in 2010 to over $125,000 today reflects a staggering gain of more than 4 million %. No stock, property, or commodity can claim that kind of record. So let's consider some real possibilities. If Bitcoin surges to $500,000, a target even some traditional investors deem realistic, your 0.1 BTC becomes a valuable $50,000. Now imagine it reaching $1 million. Your fractional ownership would expand to $100,000. And if it hits an astounding $2 million, that 0.1 BTC transforms into a remarkable $200,000. This isn't mere speculation. It's arithmetic fueled by limited supply and increasing demand. Each time a nation grapples with inflation, banks tighten their grip, or governments stifle financial freedoms, the allure of Bitcoin becomes undeniable. What happens when demand escalates from millions to billions? That's when your 0.1 BTC morphs from just a little bit to a critical piece of a global financial network, one not controlled by banks or governments, but by everyday people like you and me. Here's a vital insight that often eludes people. Owning Bitcoin is more than a financial action. It's a fundamental shift in mindset. The moment you acquire your first fraction of Bitcoin, even if it's just a tiny piece, your perspective on money begins to evolve. You'll find yourself measuring wealth not in dollars, but in the freedom and time it brings. Inflation becomes strikingly clear as you ponder, why is my money devaluing just by resting in a bank account? Saving in dollars equates to gradual loss, while saving in Bitcoin positions you within the realm of scarcity. Owning 0.1 BTC transcends mere bragging rights. It signifies a new outlook on the future. It cultivates patience, discipline, and conviction within you. You'll approach market fluctuations with a long-term vision, rather than reacting impulsively to every price dip. This journey introduces you to lessons in self-custody, security, and the empowerment of financial independence. This is the real metamorphosis. The moment you step into a future where 0.1 Bitcoin isn't just an investment, but a catalyst for an entirely new philosophy of wealth. Get ready to embrace this adventure. It's not just about Bitcoin, it's about reconceiving the essence of money itself. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest misconceptions out there. The idea that Bitcoin is too expensive. Imagine walking down a busy street surrounded by people engrossed in their phones, when suddenly you notice a headline flash across a news ticker. Bitcoin hits 125,000. You can almost hear the collective sigh of disappointment. Tear. I missed it, someone mutters. It's too late for me. But what if I told you that's a common misconception fueled by a lack of understanding? Here's the secret. Bitcoin is not just a single monolithic beast. It's a highly divisible digital currency. In fact, it's divided into 100 million smaller pieces called satoshis. Think about it like this. You can buy a slice of cake instead of the whole cake. Whether it's $10, $50, or even just $1, you can own a fraction of Bitcoin. And every tiny piece stacks up over time. Imagine each of those small purchases as little building blocks in your financial future. The more you stack sats, the closer you get to that coveted 0.1 BTC milestone. It's like planting a seed for a tree you might not see grow right away, but it's there, and its roots are spreading beneath the surface. Now, here's where the magic lies. The earlier you start, the more time you give the scarcity of Bitcoin to work its wonders. Imagine when Bitcoin rises to $200,000. That little 0.1 BTC will suddenly cost you $20,000. And at $500,000? That's a staggering $50,000 for the same piece of digital gold. For many, that 0.1 BTC isn't just a number. It's a digital patch of land waiting for the city to spring up around it. You don't have to be the first in line. You just need to start before everyone else catches on. Despite Bitcoin's meteoric rise and its buzz around the world, believe it or not, we're still in the early chapters of this story. Consider the statistics. Less than 5% of the global population currently owns any cryptocurrency at all, and even fewer, less than 2%, hold Bitcoin in self-custody. That leaves a staggering 98% still on the sidelines. Meanwhile, giant financial institutions are charging ahead. Firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, and JP Morgan are paving the way for Bitcoin ETFs and custody services, recognizing the trajectory of the future. Countries like El Salvador are welcoming Bitcoin with open arms as legal tender, while others like Argentina and Nigeria are turning to it as their currencies falter. With every economic storm, Bitcoin emerges as a beacon of hope, a financial lifeboat in turbulent waters. And here's the kicker. Despite its growing significance, Bitcoin's market cap is tiny compared to gold or global equities. If Bitcoin were to simply reach gold's market cap, one single Bitcoin could soar past $500,000, meaning that precious 0.1 BTC would be worth $50,000. Can you see how owning a fraction now is an incredible opportunity? It's akin to holding a golden ticket to an exclusive network still in the early stages of adoption. The same early days the internet saw way back in the 1990s when people dismissed it as a playground for tech geeks. Look around today. The internet is the bedrock of modern life. In 10 years, we might be saying the same about Bitcoin. Those who hold even a small piece will be the ones who benefit the most. Now let's take a moment to get real. Owning Bitcoin isn't some magic wand that guarantees you wealth. It's not a thrilling get-rich-quick tale. It's a long-term journey filled with ups and downs. You'll witness price swings that tug at your emotions, where fear and greed can cloud judgment. But here's what distinguishes the winners. It's not those who can perfectly time the market. It's those who commit to staying in the market. They invest small amounts consistently, a strategy known as dollar-cost averaging, weathering the storms of volatility. They're the ones who educate themselves continuously and ride out the tough days without panic. Why? Because the value of 0.1 BTC transcends its dollar amount. It symbolizes understanding money, achieving independence from inflation, and being part of a monumental financial evolution before the masses are even aware. So cherish that 0.1 BTC not just as an investment but as a mindset. Be patient. Be consistent. Be humble. Because in a world clamoring for instant success, sometimes the most profound step you can take is to hold on and wait. So what if 0.1 Bitcoin isn't merely a number, but your golden ticket into the next era of wealth, technology, and freedom? You don't need to be wealthy to begin this journey, nor do you need to decode every aspect of blockchain technology. What you need is the courage to start, and to start now. The future doesn't wait for that perfect moment. It rewards those who take early action with conviction. That's what 0.1 BTC represents. Not a scheme to get rich, but a vital step to get started on owning a scarce, global, censorship-resistant form of value that may rise above all paper currencies. So ask yourself this. In 10 years, when Bitcoin becomes as ubiquitous as the internet, what will you wish you had done today? If you found value in this message, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode from BrainFuel Reads. Because the next idea we explore could transform how you view money, technology, and the world itself. Until next time, keep your brain fueled.